Hello my people, welcome to this channel. Thank you so much for subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, you're missing out a lot because from time to time important and current news updates are dropped. Okay, so now on this one, the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matwali, he came out to say that all these northerners have finally gotten their voice back to criticize the current administration. They lost their voice during President Buhari's tenure. Why? Why is this supposed to be? Why is tribalism the same story, the same problem we're experiencing over and over again? Why is it that something can't be done about? Why can't we be united at least? That is just what made me realize that in as much as anyone calls that say national unity, there is national unity, that is what we've been hearing right from the very onset, right from since 1960. They've been preaching national unity, and yet we've been experiencing several political issues still because of tribal differences. Hey. And really, it is enough reason to start doubting if we can coexist as a nation again. It's really difficult because Nigeria is 64 already, and we are still saying the same thing. Now, the northerners are now saying all sorts of bad things against Tinubu simply because it's not a northerner. Okay, so let me just delve straight into the news, starting with the headline, and it says, imagine the northerners who kept quiet during Buhari's 8 years have found their voices under Tinubu's administration. So that's coming from Matwali. And he said, speaking through his media consultant, Deyemi Saka, Matwali knocked Marafa, noting that many of them who kept quiet during former President Muhammadu Buhari's 8 years have found their voices because Tinubu is not a northerner. The Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matwali, has slammed a fellow northern political leader, Kabiru Garba Marafa, over his vituperation on account of the Northern Elders Forum statement on the administration of President Bola Tinubu. Speaking through his media consultant, Deyemi Saka, Matwali knocked Marafa, noting that many of them who kept quiet during President Muhammadu Buhari regime finally found their voices. Why? Because Tinubu is not a northerner. So there was a report on Sunday that Marafa, who was the former federal lawmaker and chieftain of the ruling All Progressive Congress, had responded to a recent uncomplimentary remark made by Matwali about members of the Northern Elders Forum. Then there was also a report about how Matwali said that NEF members lacked the authority to speak for the entire region following their criticism of Bola Tinubu's administration. He had noted that they had become a political burden to northerners and were deluded into thinking they had political relevance in the country. Matwali's remark was a result of the NEF's decision to withdraw its support from the Tinubu's government. Marafa, however, berated the minister and urged him to highlight the present administration achievement to warrant support of any meaningful stakeholders in the country. Still the same tribalism issue. So what Matwali is saying was that, okay, now you guys are talking, but when President Buhari was doing everything, in fact, he wrecked Nigeria. He did, because we didn't really achieve any significant developments when he was the president. Instead, things became worse, from insecurity to inflation to poverty and what have you. We didn't achieve any significant development. So that's what he's criticizing the Northern Elders Forum for, trying to speak ill of the current administration. Meanwhile, they didn't do this when Buhari was the president. So I can smell tribalism here. The former senator stated that insulting the Northern elders was counterproductive and a great disservice to the president. However, the minister's aide, Saka, in a statement titled "Which Northern Elders is Marafa Speaking For?" said, "It is highly hypocritical that many who either lost their voice or never had it in the 8 years of Muhammadu Buhari's presidency, which never dignified the life of an average Northerner or interested in improving their lives through purposeful and productive leadership, are now blasting like a hot furnace because the present occupier of the highest office of the land is not from their region." In this feeble attempt at his image revival, he claimed the minister was out of order for negatively portraying the Northern elders and ought to have listed the achievements, programs and policies, projects of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the North and the country as a whole in the first 10 months of the administration. It is highly hypocritical that many who either lost their voice or never had it in the 8 years of Muhammadu Buhari's presidency, which never dignified the life of an average Northerner. Okay, so that's just it on the matter. We've seen it, tribalism, the same old narrative that we've been facing over and over again. That, for instance, an Hausa man trying to favor an Hausa man, not because he merits it, but because he's from their region. This is not something new. Okay, so now let's hear what the people have to say about it. Sageri Gamoji said, "We poor people, we just hear from you mouses, as in there is nothing we can do. We are tired. One of them will just come out to talk instead of them addressing the issue at hand. We've done so much of talking. What we need now is solution." Ahmad Ali said, "During Buhari's regime, people from whatever part of Nigeria say their words. It is now you hear the voice of the North. Why are you talking?" Adewale Adeyika said, "But Southwest that made noise during Buhari regime have kept quiet now. Tribalism will kill Nigeria." It is really sad, really, really sad. Dele Olagbemi said, "Are you truly a Yoruba man or an impostor? I have come across many of your comments portrays you as not truly from the Yoruba race." Well, that's by the way. The thing is that, are you sure we can ever succeed together as a country? The mistake came from our colonial masters. They were the ones that joined us together prior to when they came into our country. We were existing as an independent nation, then until they just came and joined us together just for their benefit. If we can't work, isn't it high time for us to go our separate ways? Okay, so that's it on the matter. Thank you so much for listening to this channel, and if you haven't subscribed, please do, and bye for now.